Okay. Hi, thank you for coming today. Office ergonomics, you and your workspace. This is a really important area of study for workplace and for well-being in general for your life. Ergonomics, the dictionary description of ergonomics is the study of how a workplace and the equipment used there can best be designed for comfort, efficiency, safety, and productivity. Why is this important? I have spent 30 years in the corporate office and furniture industry, both on the dealer side and here at Rutgers, and have specified thousands and thousands of workstations and thousands of task chairs and keyboard trays and work with people who, just like us, work in a workstation and to do their job. But why do business owners think that this is important? Well, in the workplace, the total economic cost of work-related injuries and illnesses is estimated in the billions of dollars. They're called musculoskeletal disorders, or MSDs. Workers in many different industries and occupations can be exposed to risk factors at work, such as lifting or pushing heavy items, bending or reaching overhead, working in awkward body postures, and performing the same or similar tasks repetitively. MSDs affect the muscles, the nerves, the blood vessels, ligaments, and tendons. Some examples are carpal tunnel syndrome, tendinitis, rotator cuff injuries, epicondylitis, trigger finger and muscle strains, and lower back injuries. Who here has suffered any of these at one time or another, or is so now? Yeah, me too. I was laid up in bed all weekend with bad back pains. Work-related MSDs are among the most frequently reported causes of lost or restricted work time. Work can literally be a pain in your neck or back. In 1970, Congress passed the Occupational Safety and Health Act, which was tasked with assuring the safe and healthful working conditions for working men and women by setting and enforcing standards and providing training, outreach, education, and assistance. They updated their standards in 1997. OSHA issued a primer that describes the basic elements of a workplace program aimed at preventing work-related musculoskeletal disorders. The primer includes procedures in identifying, evaluating, and controlling risk factors. And this toolbox is something that our Rutgers uses on a regular basis. It provides a collection of techniques, methods, reference materials, and sources of other information that can help in program development. The Rutgers department that's responsible for doing this is REHS. In addition to making sure that our labs and our classrooms and our public spaces and our dormitories all have very safe and healthy environments, they're also responsible for helping you work better in your workspace. They provide from their website, REHS provides comprehensive and professional health, safety, and environmental services to all of Rutgers, not just here in New Brunswick, but in Newark, Camden, and all across New Jersey. I sat down with Peter Skeels, who's responsible for this in his department, and we talked about what it is that they do. They're available to schedule you an appointment to provide an assessment of your workspace. You can contact them directly or through your supervisor. Here is their address and Peter Skeels' email address and contact phone number. They're actually located in the Livingston Barracks where facilities used to be. It's like going home again. What they would do is they would come out to your office They bring out the toolbox that OSHA provides, and they take measurements, and they observe you in how you do your daily job. And they take all that information back. They might make some suggestions right away. They always include your supervisor in this process because it is a collaborative endeavor so that all employees are happy in their work. They would write up a report and make some recommendations. What they do not do is specifically call out specific types of furniture and or new equipment. It's just they're willing to work with you with what you have, and then work with you and your supervisor. Perhaps there are some inexpensive or other things that they have in their budget to provide. If your medical conditions calls for specific accommodations, you'll need to contact HR and go through their process and have medical documentation to that effect. Okay, we are going to watch a short video. I looked at a variety of different videos online that kind of show the proper ways of sitting in your workstation, and I thought this was a really good one. It's not too long, and then we're going to go over all the different elements that are in this video. Okay? Oops, that was not what I was supposed to push. Go back. Okay, thank you. We all have monitors. A lot of us have two. This is something that REHS might suggest. If you don't have a platform, you can just use books to raise up your monitor. I actually just started using this on my iPad at home because the blue light was really bothering me. That's the most important thing, your chair. Again, an easy solution. Okay. Right, then I have to come there. Okay. There was a little more, but I think it captured everything that was there. Okay, so all the different things that they talked about in the video. We're going to start with their task chair, and I'm going to ask my Vanna White over here to come up and do a demonstration. And if anybody would like to also come up and work with us and take the third chair. Anyone? Catherine? Come on. Come on up. Come on up. There you go. All right. No, take that one over there. Okay. So your task chair. First of all, when you sit in your task chair, you want to set it at the proper height for your keyboard tray. So almost all chairs, I would say, pretty much these days, have a height adjustable control. So Actually, maybe you take this chair because take that one. Sorry, we're going to switch. Only because she has that chair, she probably knows where all the controls are. So again, a lot of chairs nowadays have little pictures that help you. And this is a new chair for me too, this one. So a lever that helps you go up and down. Your feet should be nice and planted firmly on the floor, okay? Then you want to control how much tension is on the chair. Some chairs have the knob that's underneath. If you're in this building, all the chairs have a lever that's on the right-hand side. That adjusts how much pressure you can adjust. Whoa, too much. So then you go the other way. It's nice when they're on the side, and so now there's not as much. And then there should be a back lock on the chair. I don't know if this one does too. This one, it pulls out. It's different on every chair. Actually, this is not the back lock. Oh, that's the back lock. So now I can't push back. But there's always a little bit of movement, which is a good thing. You want to have some flexibility. I actually really like this chair that we have here because there's a little bit more. If you don't like to sit so straight up and you want the ability to rock, then just set it at a very tight tension. And that should be enough to just give you a little movement should you need to just kind of stretch out a little bit. Your arms. You want to be able to adjust your arms so that when you're keying, and I'm going to actually, I'm going to change with you. No, you slide over there because I'm going to sit at the desk now. Sorry, thank you. Okay. So like in the video, he said you want to adjust your chair. Now this is too high for me. If I had my keyboard tray on the desk, I'd want my chair to be much higher. But if I raise my chair, nope, I can get it. Okay, so if I raise my chair, so then I'm at the proper height for keying, so just my arms. So now my arms are flat. So my hands can essentially float over the keyboard tray. You don't want to be putting your wrists down on your desk. If you look at your wrists, all these little muscles and tendons here are what control your hands. So if you're pressing on them, you're cutting off the blood circulation to your fingers, and that's why if you're doing that all day long, constantly, you're actually cutting off the blood flow to your fingers, and that's why your fingers can get numb. So you want to be able to have like a nice loose flow. You can put a little pressure on your elbows, but you don't want to be pressing down so hard because then you're putting stress on your shoulders. So a nice, easy flow. You want to have your mouse next to your keyboard tray so that you can easily go from mousing to keying. I like a wrist pad. Again, it just provides a little bit of comfort on my wrists in case I'm resting rather than dropping my wrists. It kind of prevents you from doing that. So I like the gel foam wrist pads. You can, if you're on a keyboard tray, usually they have those, and we'll talk about those after the chair. So here I am. So I can move, my wrists are nice and flat, my shoulders are relaxed, and my keyboard tray is at the proper height. Now I'm looking at my monitor. And what they said is it should be about an arm's distance apart. Depending upon your eyesight, you can feel what is the most comfortable to you. You don't want it so close that it's like right on top, and you don't want it so far that you're doing one of these things to squint. Again, increase your pixel size if you have to. If you don't know how to do that, OIT will certainly be, available to help you with that. So most monitors have some kind of an adjustment to them that you can adjust them up or down, okay, and you can adjust your tilt. If they do not, if they're a fixed base, then get some books to raise your monitor up. And again, I like mine not at the top of the screen, but I like it actually like at one of the thirds. If you were dividing the screen into three, I like my eye kind of at that third line because I have progressives. So if it's too high, then I'm kind of constantly tilting my head back. If it's at this level, at the right height, I don't have to move it so much to read the whole page. If you have two monitors, you want to have a primary one and a secondary, and they should both be at the same height, okay? I don't like the line in the middle. I find that distracting. I always set my primary one a little bit more into my center of my vision and the other just next to it, just so that you don't want to be doing this constantly. If you have your one monitor here and the other monitor way over here, you're going to be doing this, and that again could put a lot of stress on your neck. So you want to have it kind of a little bit more on one and then just to the side with the other. Okay. One of the other things on the task chairs that all the chairs in this facility have, and I usually include this on all the chairs that I specify for new buildings, is a sliding seat. And that means that if you're really tall or really short, you should be able to use the same chair. I'm going to lower my chair so my feet are nice and flat on the ground. That is this. So do you know where it is on that chair, Catherine? No. It is on your right. Yeah, it's that one. So you kind of push it in. So you can see how the seat slides. So you want to set it so you have 2 fingers in front of your knees. You don't want to be so deep in the chair that the edge of the chair is cutting into the back of your knees, or so short that you're kind of hanging out. Just like the video said, you really do want to put your tush in the back of the chair so that you're really feeling that lumbar support. And again, leaving a little bit of room. Now your lumbar support, all of these have an adjustable lumbar. Some chairs are different. They have intuitive lumbar supports, or they have a pad or something like that. So these you can adjust up and down. Some of them go in and out. This one does not, it's just up and down. What's nice is on all these more modern chairs, all the adjustments can be made while you're sitting in the chair. You don't have to have someone come and do that for you, right? Yeah, yeah. So you want to get that so it's giving you some nice lower support in the back. And that's basically your chairs. And some chairs, the arms, the pads slide in and out. And that's kind of nice because you can actually get it a little closer to your desk surface.
And this one has the arms that go out.
And some chairs have arms that can actually go in or out, again, accommodating to a variety of body types. Some of that, sometimes it's a standard feature, other times it's an additional cost. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk about the keyboard tray. Wait, I have one more slide. And all prices. All of these chairs actually all have the same ergonomic features, but there are a variety of price points. And I bet it's really actually hard these days to tell the difference. When ergonomic chairs first came out on the market, they were very expensive. And now you can find companies that provide them all the same features for like half the price. So we really kind of, it's not a matter of cost, it's a matter of finding the chair that's right for your body type, and that gives you all those ergonomic features. Again, just to review, you have your ergonomic chair, your seat height, the tension and back lock, height adjustable arms, lumbar support, and seat depth. Those are the things that I always look for in a really good ergonomic chair and make recommendations to people when they come and visit me upstairs. Okay, keyboard trays. I'm a huge fan of keyboard trays. I like them because I'm shorter. I like to have my feet flat on the floor. I like that I can adjust it, but it's not for everybody. Some people who are really tall don't need it. They can use the keyboard tray on their desk, and that's fine. Generally, there are 2 types of keyboard trays. There's the flat ones, which the mouse just is a wider board, and the mouse goes right next to the keyboard tray. There's the ones that have a rotating mouse pad where you can kind of maybe bring it a little closer to you. It can usually be adjusted from a left side to a right side. And that's what's nice about the flat boards is you don't have to adjust anything. If a left person is using it or a right person, it doesn't really matter. And again, the controls, they've gotten much better, very easy to adjust up and down. Along with the keyboard tray are footrests. Generally, you don't need them if you're using a keyboard tray because you can adjust the height of the keyboard tray to the floor. But if you are using your keyboard tray on your desk and you need to raise your chair up off the ground, you don't want your heels raised, so you might get a footrest. You could use a box or some books, or you can go out and purchase a footrest. The top one was actually $13. So they don't have to be an expensive item. If your supervisor is in agreement, you can purchase it as an office furniture product. Your monitor. Again, you can raise it up if it has it. You can put it on a stack of books. In some cases, you can get a monitor arm, which is really quite nice. I don't have one here. But what's nice about those is if you do want to stand up, you can raise it up somewhat. It's also nice because it gives you an empty work surface space. So if you don't have a lot of work surface space, let's say you have one desk that's 60 inches, but you have a lot of paper that you need to spread out. If you have two monitors, it takes up a lot of room. You can't put anything here where your keyboard tray is. If you had monitor arms, you really can use the entire work surface space. And they do make them for dual monitors. The thing to think about that, though, is if your monitors are really big, you might actually need extended arms because they only go so far, and they might not fit properly. So actually, all of my vendors kind of know this now. So when we go to dual monitor arms, they actually try to measure the monitors to see if it will work on those arms. And this is just a recap. Again, sit back in your seat, monitor at the proper viewing height, arms nice and level, floating over your keyboard tray, feet flat on the floor or on a footrest. One of the things I want to just call out, again, I don't like to be completely straight. You talk about good posture. You don't want to completely stand up straight because then you're cutting off the blood circulation to your legs. I mean, think about, this kind of joint. That's why I actually think it's actually better to be a little bit more open in your seating. Sometimes it gets a little used to because you feel like you're going too far back, but if you have a good supportive back on your chair and you tighten the tension, you should be able to open up a little bit and keep that blood flowing. Okay. One of the newest and greatest and whatever you want to call it trends are the sit-stand desks. They're a little hard to get used to, and there's things you should know about that as well. I'm going to move this up here. Okay. They're large and they take up a lot of your work surface. They can come smaller ones, but the newer ones are larger because then they become your desk when you're standing. So you're not leaning over. That's why they come so large. So again, when you're sitting, you'd be sitting at your desk. You don't have a keyboard tray, so you have this on your desk. You'd have to raise your chair up and have a footrest so that you're at the proper height. Then, I'm going to lower this. Then when you want to stand, you adjust it up so that, again, your arms are flat when you're standing. You don't want to be, again, pressing on that. That defeats the purpose. And then again, you might need to adjust your monitor again, just so that, again, it's the proper height for you, depending upon how long your torso is. So the same rules apply, floating your arms. Now, it's not meant to stand all day long. You're meant to stand for 20 minutes, sit down for a while. Sit for an hour, stand up for a while. Again, changing that body position. It takes a lot of getting used to. I find it difficult to concentrate sometimes. Email, phone calls, it's great because you can be a little bit more free. If I'm doing heavy-duty task work, I like to be sitting. So again, it's there for a variety of body positions. If you are standing, it is recommended that you get a cushioned mat, like one of those gel foams. This is a very kind of weird, fancy one that they have, a gimmicky one, I would say. that came out where you could kind of stand on it and change different body positions or put your foot out. Liz was using this for a while, and she tripped 3 or 4 times, and she couldn't like get her chair to roll over because it's so high. Yeah. Yes, because she's always like up and down, and it was actually really cumbersome. We took it away and gave her just a plain flat one. So don't always fall for the gimmicky ones that, simple is better sometimes. This one is actually a really deep one because it's meant for a corner work surface. If you look at the one in the picture, it's much thinner. And there are lots of companies that supply these now. Again, wide price range. Okay. The other type of adjustable surface is a height adjustable desk. These I actually kind of like a little bit better because your whole work surface comes up with you, which is quite nice. So then all your daily tasks that you're using are right there with you. Your phone and all that kind of stuff kind of comes up with you. One of the things to notice is in this picture here in the corner, you can see she's using a laptop with a standing desk. That actually would wind up over time hurting her neck because she's going to have to constantly look down at her laptop and probably would wind up doing this. So what I would recommend if you have a laptop and you happen to have one of these sit-stand desks is you really have to use a monitor. Either that or you put your laptop up on a high stand and get a keyboard tray. Because again, you want to keep your neck in a comfortable, natural position, not looking down or, in unawkward positions. You can see the person on the right, she's got it all. She's got the monitor on an arm, and she's got her keyboard tray, and she actually even has that odd little piece in the back is what they call a perch chair. So if you are standing and do need to lean back, then you have a perch chair. You might as well sit in a chair if you're asking me. I don't know. But they have it. And again, the 2 different positions for sit-stand that you use correct upper body posture, whether you're sitting or you're standing. Okay, so now REH has come out, they've made the recommendation, you're paying attention, you're sitting in a good chair, sitting at a keyboard tray, but what else is wrong, right? So we frequently blame poorly designed workstations, cars, sofas, and other equipment, all for our aches and pains. But even the best ergonomically designed workstation is of a limited value if the person using it does not use their own body well. So if you forget and you start slouching or you're turning or whatever, or you're sitting there for 6 hours and not moving, that's why you may have some body problems. So in other words, it's up to you. You've got to be an active worker. So what can you do, right? Pay attention to how you're sitting. Don't get so involved in your work that all of a sudden you find you're slouching over, or you're twisting, or you're turning, or you're pressing your wrist down on your thing. Pay attention to how your body is. You can do exercises at your desk. Oh my gosh. Very simple ones. Stretch your arms out. Maybe do some side bends. You can do this standing or in your chair. If they're going to post this, or you want a copy of this little thing to post up at your desk, there's like, do 10 of these and 6 of these, that kind of thing. Again, stretch up over your head. Take a deep breath. This is great. If you've been keying all day and you need to relax your shoulders, come on, everybody, do the exercise. Up and down, up and down, okay? Put your hands behind your back, right? And just kind of lean over. Again, stretch out those muscles. This one, push your hands together, right? We spend a lot of time using our wrists. That would be really nice, right? Wiggle your fingers. If you've been keying a lot or squeezing the mouse for a while, just stand up, wiggle your fingers. Get up and walk. You got to talk to somebody on the other side of the office. Get up, stop emailing, get up and walk over and say hi, talk about something. You're going to the restroom. Don't just go to the restroom and come back. Do a walk, circular walk around the office. Or move to your own groove. Get up, do some knee bends, little arm presses, some of these. Just something during the day to alleviate just sitting in one position. Okay? All right, thank you. Thank you for all coming. You're welcome to come up and try the sit-stand desk or try out a chair. Come talk to me about something. Or if you really want a true evaluation, remember, reach out to Peter Skeels in his office over at REHS, and they'll be happy to come out and do the evaluation for you. All right? Thank you. Yeah, any questions?
So what kind of comments do you usually get from the sit-stand desk? Like people who have used it, do they like it? Does it alleviate?
So I'm working with Department of Continuing Education. They were full on this kind of movement, and they've, I don't know, I think they ordered about 100 of them for different employees within their department. People really love it, but you have to get used to it, and you have to pay attention to how you're working at it. It's one of those things that if you get it, your department pays for it, you don't like it, there may be somebody else in your department who will. So it probably will not go to waste. That's my guess. Again, it's a really personal preference. What I would recommend is try it without using the desk first. Maybe put, if it's possible, to raise your work surface or borrow one. Maybe RHS will let you demo one or try it out to see if it's something that you would like. I don't know. Yes?
Is there a possibility of having a space set aside and having the furniture distributors provide demo models?
So I have some here. I have like, I don't know, half a dozen different chairs. We have a height adjustable desk Jody uses it in the library. There are now 2 or 3 people who have different versions of the sit-stand desk on our floor. So when people come to see me, I have things to show. REHS also has several chairs there that they've kind of put their OK stamp on. In addition to a sit-stand, they actually have a really interesting monitor arm that I really liked, which as opposed to a desk, it's kind of like a combination monitor arm, sit-stand desk. So it's on an arm, and it sits flat on the edge of your desk, this thing that comes down, and then it has a lower shelf that is your keyboard tray. So it's almost like a combination of the keyboard tray, height adjustable desk, and a monitor arm all in one. I've seen other versions, and they weren't like stable enough to type on, but this one was. So if you want, you can go and check it out at RHS. And again, they bring people there, you can try them out.
So if you were interested in one, that's what you do, call RHS?
I would contact RHS, have them come and do an evaluation, do a report, and then take that report and discuss it with your supervisor. Yes?
For the cubicles that we have on the 3rd floor,
Mm-hmm.
can you accommodate a sit-stand desk?
You should be able to, yes. Actually, Liz Pierce has one, and Liz, I've seen come, I asked her, she goes up and down a lot. Again, she's always on the run, so she'll come into her station and then run back out and come back in and run back out. So for her, that was really good because she didn't have to sit back down. She could check something and, and step away. So she was using it. And yes, they do fit on a 24 or 30-inch deep desk. So again, you want to check the size and where you're putting it. Yep. Anybody else? No? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.